speaking to the state legislature, which means we're going to have 4 senators, so if you want to be a senator, raise your hand. And it doesn't matter, it's just kind of cool to see if you want to be a senator. So we need 4 of them. So I need one more person. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone else, you're a representative. Professor, you're Governor Whitmore. So you kind of got it cool. All right. Senators and representatives of the 99th Congress of Michigan, welcome back from recess. Welcome back to the special joint session of Congress. Luckily, we are joined today by the governor, and I am the Speaker of the House, Matt Kibbe. I represent the 57th District, including Adrian and Adrian College. And today we'll be discussing House Bill 4007 through 4016. This is an introduction to a bill causing reform to the 1976 Freedom of Information Act. This will be adding a second amendment to the act called the Legislative Open Records Act. It is important to note that this topic is up for vote at the end of the discussion, and this is also day 2 of discussion involving House Bill 4007 through 4016. We as a governing body today are taking a look at an out-of-date law that is in need of changes to meet the needs of today's quickly advancing society, as well as the means of making basic information readily available to the public. In a world where technology runs our lives and information is open to everyone, our state is the worst, not one of the worst at giving information to the public. Receiving an F grade from an investigation done by the Center for Public Integrity that was completed in 2015. Now, yes, I do understand with how fast we move, 2015 seems out of date, but nothing has been done or changed in this building since the investigation. So this information is still accurate in 2019. This is unfair to our constituents, who are the reasons we are sitting where we are today. They deserve to know what happens within these walls and what we are doing. As we sit here in Lansing, there are things that can be done to change the status quo, as well as things that have already been put in place to get the ball rolling even faster. Transparency is the name of the game when it comes to FOIA, and that is something Michiganders do not have with this government. Luckily, Governor Whitmore has already signed an executive order, only a few weeks into her term, calling for more transparency and more accountability to the taxpayers. This information was reported by Paul Ingen on February 1st from the Detroit Free Press. This order does not cover everything, and we as a Congress can do more and spark the changes needed. What we need to do is vote on and pass the new amendment of the Freedom of Information Act, again known as the Legislative Open Records Act, which will remove the governor and legislative body, us in this room, from the definition of the exclusion from the definition of public body, as well as allow more documents to become public records, and not allow bodies of government to hide them from the public. This information comes from the Michigan Legislature, a government site that gives summaries of all bills presented at the floor. So later today, this conversation that we're having right now will be reported on the site. It's one of the few sites that actually allows public information to be reported to the public. That information, so it was posted on March 14th is when I accessed that. Like I said, it was one of the few places that you can actually get public information. By passing this bill and adding to our already minimal FOIA laws, we will generate more openness, as well as lower the cost when requesting information to what it should be, and that is free. In a news article posted by the Huron Hub on March 14th, District 23 Representative Darren Camilleri was quoted saying, "As representatives, I believe we have a responsibility to give Michiganders the tools they need to hold their government accountable. And that's exactly what this package does. I'm grateful we finally have allies in the Senate and Governor's office who have made the same commitment to transparency and openness for the people of Michigan. And I look forward to seeing these bills move quickly through the rest of the legislative process and bring much needed change to these laws that have kept the people in the dark for so long." Now, yes, it was a long quote, but basically what Representative Camilleri is saying is that we need to see the future and see how important passing these bills today really are. Just to see how crazy and unreasonable FOIA laws are in the state of Michigan, I want to take a look at an example pointed out in the Bridge, Michigan article posted on February 15th, 2018 by Mike Wilkinson. Mike says that in 2017, Vice News sent in a FOIA request to the Detroit Police Department to see all the shootings involving the police. The request was accepted as long as they would pay a fine of $77,000. And they would also have to wait 12 years for that report to become public for them to use. This information that Vice News requested is often supplied for free by other departments and agencies and given within a timely manner. Now let's take a look at something more personal. You're a new family, you're moving into a new home, you want to move into the state of Michigan. The process for finding information on a home you just looked at, or multiple within one single county, could cost you around $20 an hour that the city clerk has to spend looking for the information that you requested, because that is, again, public record. But in other counties, you could pay as high as $40 an hour for the same information on the same different houses. This is unreasonable, and this is exactly the problem. High costs with long waits seem to work hand in hand in the Michigan legislature and the Michigan FOIA laws. And what about in the government itself, where we're sitting right now? With our constituents we want to make sure our constituents know what's going on and that we keep true to our campaign promises. In my eyes, as an elected official, this seems to be a cheat system because now there is a door that can be opened of lying to our constituents and them having no way of knowing. This is an unfair advantage that both parties can exploit to gain an upper hand. This is not how government is supposed to work, and by continuing to allow this to happen, we become even furthermore a part of the problem. This is why, as Congress, we need to pass House Bill 4007 through 4016 and put them into law. We as congressmen and congresswomen have a chance to open the gates into information our constituents deserve to see. I ask you to vote yea on this package of bills and allow transparency to occur within our state. And above all else, serve our people with pride, knowing they will gain information that they have never been able to access before. Break the mold and let's make FOIA better. I leave you with this note. As members of Congress, we must always remember that to be a part of a good government, we must not only keep ourselves accountable, but also allow the people to keep us accountable. The people give us their trust to make this state better. And if they do not know what we are doing behind the scenes, they won't have any of that trust. And government will never function without trust. Thank you.